In 1932, Dr. Eric Salomon secretly photographed inside the U.S. Supreme Court. He hid a camera in a fake plaster cast on his arm. Pretending to be injured, he captured one of the few interior images. The photo shows judges, benches, and the courtroom's solemn atmosphere. A rare glimpse into a place usually closed to public cameras. In the 1960s, young Barack Obama dressed as a pirate. He stands beside his mother, Stanley Ann Dunham, smiling warmly. A playful costume and relaxed pose capture family closeness and affection. The photo reflects a loving, nurturing environment during his childhood years, a rare glimpse of the future president in ordinary, joyful moments. In 1928, the Iceman delivered a 25-pound block of ice in Houston. Ice was essential for keeping food cold before electric refrigerators existed. The man balanced the heavy block, showing strength and daily labor. A glimpse into life before modern refrigeration changed household routines forever. Historic moments reveal ordinary work that shaped everyday life in the era. Around 1982 to 1983, a person protested revealing swimsuits on Daytona Beach. They wore Puritan-inspired clothing, making a bold visual statement. Crowds gathered, reacting to the unusual attire and protest message. The photo captures cultural clashes and social commentary of the era. Keith McManus documented the moment, highlighting humor, conflict, and public reaction. In 1981, 8th grader Kurt Cobain plays the drums at school. Long before Nirvana, he explored instruments and music creatively. The photo shows early passion for arts within school and family settings. A glimpse of the beginnings of a future music icon. In July 1946, Rosalind and Jimmy Carter posed shortly after their wedding. Young and smiling, they look ready to start their life together. The photo captures the beginning of a marriage lasting over 70 years. A quiet, joyful moment showing love and promise in post-war America. In 1971, American gunners in South Vietnam display an improvised flag. The flag shows the peace symbol, a striking visual contrast. Their military role contrasts sharply with a desire to end conflict. The photo captures tension, hope, and human complexity during wartime, a rare glimpse of soldiers expressing personal beliefs amid combat. In 1923, Queen Mary's famous dollhouse was packed for Windsor Castle. The miniature home is incredibly detailed, a true royal masterpiece. It was created to honor her love of collecting and arts. Every tiny feature reflects craftsmanship, elegance, and the Queen's personal taste. A rare glimpse into royal hobbies and artistic dedication. This 1939 cartoon shows Stalin and Hitler dividing a map of Europe. It symbolizes the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact, a shocking non-aggression agreement. The illustration reflects Western media's critique and public perception of politics. A striking visual of two dictators planning control over the continent. History captured in a single image showing tension and looming conflict. An exotic dancer demonstrates her underwear was too large to expose. She was arrested by undercover police officers in Florida. The photo shows her clarifying the situation after the arrest, a rare glimpse into law enforcement and public controversy surrounding performers. In 1934, acrobats balanced atop the Empire State Building. They performed daring feats high above the bustling New York City streets. The striking photo captures thrill, artistry, and extraordinary courage in perfect action. A breathtaking glimpse of bold stunts during the adventurous and daring 1930s era. In 1935, a German soldier balances on a trained horse. The photo shows skill, precision, and discipline in military training, a rare glimpse of mounted exercises from the era's armed forces. It captures both technique and poise in a striking military display. In 1941, a shell-shocked reindeer watches planes dropping bombs on Russia. The photo captures fear and chaos amidst wartime devastation. Animals, like humans, were affected by the horrors of conflict, a striking glimpse of the impact of war on all living beings. The original Ronald McDonald was played by Willard Scott. He brought the character to life with humor and charm. The photo shows early moments of a now iconic fast food mascot, a glimpse of marketing, entertainment, and children's culture in its beginnings. In 1897, a boxing match took place aboard the USS Oregon. Sailors squared off on deck, showcasing skill and competitive spirit. The photo captures recreation and morale-boosting activities in naval life, a rare glimpse of sports and entertainment on a historic warship. In 1967, Airman John McCain was captured at Truc Bac Lake, Hanoi. Vietnamese forces took him during a tense moment in the Vietnam War. The photo shows a critical point in his military service, a stark glimpse of conflict, danger, and wartime reality. Between 1860 and 1880, samurai warriors posed for a photograph. They wore traditional armor, showcasing skill, honor, and social status. The photo captures a transformative period in Japan's history and culture, a rare glimpse of the samurai class before modernization fully arrived. Walt Disney was photographed on the day Disney Studios opened. He stands proudly, marking the beginning of an entertainment empire. The photo captures excitement, vision, and the start of animation history, a rare glimpse of a legendary figure at a pivotal moment. Che Guevara is photographed enjoying a drink, relaxed and casual. The image shows a rare personal moment away from revolutionary duties. It captures the human side of a historic and iconic figure, a glimpse into leisure and personality beyond public and political life. In 1978, Microsoft staff posed together in their early office space. The photo shows the company's small team at the start of innovation. It captures the humble beginnings of a tech giant in formation, a rare glimpse of the people who shaped modern computing history. In 1933, the last known Tasmanian tiger was photographed alive. The animal, now extinct, shows the unique stripes and features clearly. The photo captures a rare glimpse of a species lost forever, a reminder of wildlife vulnerability and human impact on nature. In 1941, German planes conducted an air raid on Moscow. Explosions and smoke filled the skies above the city streets. The photo captures chaos, destruction, and the tension of wartime, a stark glimpse of civilian and military life under attack. Winston Churchill is photographed enjoying a swim, relaxed and casual. The photo shows a private moment of leisure away from politics. It captures the personal side of a world-changing leader. A rare glimpse of Churchill embracing calm and recreation. In 1940, the London sky shows aftermath of a bombing raid. British and German planes fought overhead during the intense dogfight. Smoke and clouds mark destruction across the city below. The photo captures wartime chaos and the bravery of those defending London, a striking glimpse of the Battle of Britain in action. In 1990, Iranian forces stood watching oil fields burn. Iraqi troops had set the wells ablaze during their retreat. Thick black smoke billowed, covering the desert sky in choking darkness. The flames consumed land, turning day into night with terrifying power. Scorched earth and polluted air made survival harsh for everyone nearby. The burning oil fields symbolized devastation, loss, and the lasting scars of war. The photo shows a disc-like object in the sky. It has that classic flying saucer shape people imagine. No wings, no tail, just a smooth, round body. Back in the 1950s, photos like this fueled UFO mania. Magazines printed them, governments filed reports, and skeptics cried hoaxes. Mysterious, silent, and still unexplained. In the 1950s, mannequins were set up at the Nevada test site. They were used to study nuclear blast effects on humans. In the second photo, one mannequin stood 7,000 feet from the explosion. The shockwave and heat tore through everything around it. These silent figures showed the deadly power of the atomic age. In 1905, Norway received its first shipment of bananas. Crowds gathered at the port, amazed by the strange tropical fruit's arrival. For many locals, tasting a banana was their first exotic experience. The fruit's soft texture and sweetness felt entirely new to northern palates. This moment symbolized Norway's growing ties to global trade and distant lands. Taken in 1912, this photo shows the iceberg linked to the Titanic. Dark streaks of red and black paint scarred its icy side. Those chilling marks suggested a deadly collision under the night sky. Over 1,500 lives were lost when the great ship sank. A single block of ice changed maritime history forever that night. In 1929, two men filmed the MGM Lion logo. They stood dangerously close as the real lion roared for cameras. The scene became one of Hollywood's most instantly recognizable openings ever. It symbolized bold creativity mixed with raw risk in early filmmaking. A single roaring lion still defines the golden age of cinema. This is Jumbo, built for the first atomic test in 1945. It was 25 feet long, 10 feet wide, and weighed 214 tons. Scientists planned to place the Trinity device inside it. Jumbo could survive a TNT blast, but not nuclear fission. If the bomb failed, it would trap the plutonium, a massive backup plan for history's first atomic explosion. The Beatles walked back across Abbey Road in 1969. This happened right after they posed for the famous album cover. The photo shows the band casually retracing their relaxed walking steps. It captured a quiet moment behind music's most unforgettable iconic images. A crosswalk became eternal through four men and one legendary snapshot. The first marine atomic tests shook the ocean's surface. Massive water columns surged upward, rising high into the endless sky. It was humanity's first haunting glimpse of nuclear power at sea. The blasts revealed terrifying force, where science and destruction met dramatically. Spectators watched in awe, realizing warfare had entered a new age. Abraham Lincoln and General McClellan met in 1862. The photo was taken inside McClellan's tent following the Battle of Antietam. It looks carefully posed, yet it captures an authentic wartime discussion. Two leaders stood planning strategy while brutal fighting had just ended nearby. A rare and haunting glimpse of history, frozen for future generations. A view from the Empire State Building on opening day, 1931. People in the foreground were among the first to gaze downward. The vast city stretched endlessly beneath them in every direction imaginable. Skyscrapers, streets, and rooftops appeared from a perspective never experienced before. It was a moment of awe at human ambition and scale. Taken at Edgware Road Station, 1862. This image shows the very first underground train journey in London. Passengers crowded tightly into brand-new, iron-wheeled carriages with curiosity. It was a revolutionary moment in public transport and urban progress. The beginning of the London Underground that still runs today. In February 1965, after Malcolm X was assassinated, bullet holes scarred the stage. Bullet holes marked the walls, tearing through curtains with violent force. The attack's chaos remained etched in wood, fabric, and silence. This haunting scene captured the raw aftermath of tragedy and loss, a frozen reminder of one of history's most painful turning points. In 1945 on Okinawa, rows of damaged military jeeps lay abandoned. This haunting jeep graveyard showed the aftermath of brutal island combat. Wrecked vehicles stood as silent witnesses to fire, steel, and loss. The image captured war's toll on machines and men alike, a battlefield frozen in time, echoing sacrifice, destruction, and resilience. In 1939, a man balanced on a plank at a skyscraper's edge. The dizzying height made the daring scene both thrilling and terrifying. His calm posture defied the chaos of the bustling city below. The moment captured human courage against gravity, steel, and modern ambition. One wrong step meant death, yet he stood fearless in history. In 1932, a factory worker applying paint on a watch and instrument dials. The luminous paint made each surface glow brightly in the darkness. This glow helped people read time and measurements in low light. A small industrial detail carried a surprisingly big impact on daily life. It showed how innovation touched ordinary routines in simple, lasting ways. In 1933, Kyiv, Ukraine faced a severe food shortage. Residents were photographed lying weak in the streets, enduring extreme conditions. The haunting image revealed the harsh reality of famine and desperation. It was a moment when survival itself became an impossible struggle, a tragic glimpse into one of history's darkest and painful chapters. In 1882, Tambo, an Aboriginal Australian, traveled to the U.S. He was one of 9 recruited by Irish showman Robert A. Cunningham. They were part of public exhibitions showcasing Indigenous Australian culture, a glimpse of history that reflects both fascination and exploitation. In the 1950s, Betty Page, Queen of Pinups, poses with her sister Goldie. The photo revealed a relaxed family moment, far removed from fame. It showed a softer, personal side of the iconic model's life. A rare glimpse of Betty beyond the spotlight, simply as a sister. The image captured warmth, intimacy, and the beauty of everyday connection. On December 28, 1943, British troops trained at the 10th Mining School. They practiced handling mines and booby traps with their hands completely hidden. A screen blocked their view, forcing blind precision under dangerous conditions. The training simulated real battlefields, where a single mistake meant death. It was a glimpse into the brutal preparation for survival in war. In the 1940s, a car was hit with 3 million volts in Pittsburgh. Westinghouse engineers staged the lightning test to study electrical force on vehicles. The massive discharge lit up the scene with dazzling, dangerous energy. It revealed how machines respond under extreme stress from raw electricity. A shocking glimpse into early experiments with safety and science combined. In 1955, a woman with an elongated skull was photographed in Central Africa. Westinghouse engineers staged the lightning test to study electrical force on vehicles. The massive discharge lit up the scene with dazzling, dangerous energy. It revealed how machines respond under extreme stress from raw electricity. A shocking glimpse into early experiments with safety and science combined. On June 3, 1945, a German civilian looked up at a massive Stalin portrait in Berlin. The towering image symbolized Soviet dominance in post-war Berlin's shattered landscape. It reflected power, control, and the reshaping of Europe after brutal conflict. A haunting reminder of victory, occupation, and shifting global influence in history. During World War II, women moved through the rugged terrain of Yugoslavia. Some carried secret messages, slipping through danger under constant threat of capture. Others nursed the wounded, turning rough shelters into lifelines for survival. A few gripped rifles standing shoulder to shoulder in the fight. Each face reflected focus, fear, and fierce determination against impossible odds. In 1868, Thomas Annan photographed the old Ventel Close near Glasgow's High Street. The narrow, crowded street belonged to the city's poorest districts. It revealed harsh conditions born from rapid industrial growth and change. Every wall, doorway, and shadow told of daily struggle and survival. The photo offered a stark window into Victorian Glasgow's forgotten lives. In 1962, Lee Harvey Oswald sits at home with Marina and their daughter. Their clothes were plain, their expressions calm, their setting unremarkable. It looked like an ordinary family moment, frozen in time. Yet history would later cast Oswald's face in darker shadows. The peaceful scene contrasted sharply with the storm that followed. In 1933, citizens gathered near a viaduct in Boren, Belgium. Their clothes were plain, their expressions calm, their setting unremarkable. It looked like an ordinary family moment frozen in time. Yet history would later cast Oswald's face in darker shadows. The peaceful scene contrasted sharply with the storm that followed. During the 1964 Winter Games in Innsbruck, Austrian soldiers haul snow. Unusually mild weather had left the slopes bare and courses unready. With shovels and determination, they spread snow across the competition paths. The work was exhausting but kept events alive for the world, a rare behind-the-scenes glimpse of Olympic dedication and improvisation in action. In 1968, Douglas Engelbart demonstrated groundbreaking computer technology in San Francisco. The mouse, graphical interface, and real-time text editing are on display. Overlapping windows and hypertext hint at the future of computing, a glimpse of innovation that would change the world. In the 1940s, young people in U.S. cities rocked the zoot suit. Long jackets with wide shoulders paired with high-waisted tapered trousers. Flashy hats, dangling chains, and bold flair completed the striking look. On city streets, the style stood out with fearless confidence. The zoot suit became a fashion statement and symbol of culture. In 1966, astronaut Buzz Aldrin took the first space selfie on Gemini 12. He floated in orbit, holding a camera with steady precision. Behind him, Earth glowed like a fragile blue jewel in darkness. His helmet reflected the spacecraft, capturing man, machine, and mission together. One photograph showed humanity reaching space while still tied to home. In 1917, Boeing's Red Barn on the Duwamish River began production. The company was then called Boeing Airplane Company. Planes rolled out of this first manufacturing building, shaping aviation history, a snapshot of the very beginnings of a global aerospace giant. On August 13, 1969, Apollo 11 astronauts paraded down LaSalle Street in Chicago. Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, and Michael Collins waved proudly from an open car. Crowds lined the streets, thousands cheering the heroes of the moon landing. The city roared with joy, honoring humanity's leap beyond Earth. A triumph in space was celebrated with unity and pride at home. In 1966, Bobby Gibb ran the Boston Marathon as the first woman. Without official permission, she raced boldly with no numbered bib. She quietly slipped into the pack at the starting line. Her determination challenged the rules and defied expectations of the time. That run became a historic step for women in sports. In 1948, the first McDonald's opened in San Bernardino, California. Founded by brothers Richard and Maurice McDonald, it served fast food with a smile. The sign proudly noted, U.S. government-inspected meat to reassure customers, a humble start that grew into a global empire. In 1913, workers assembled a Ford Model T in Michigan. Henry Ford's moving assembly line powered the plant's revolutionary production process. Cars were built faster, cheaper, and within reach of ordinary families. The system reshaped industry and set a new global standard, a glimpse into the true birth of modern mass manufacturing. In 1958, Disneyland guests explored the House of the Future in Tomorrowland. The building was made almost entirely of plastic. Visitors marveled at futuristic designs and modern conveniences, a glimpse of how imagination shaped mid-century visions of tomorrow. In 1962, Piggly Wiggly opened in Enino, California. Cash registers were ready, and clerks greeted the first customers. The clean, decorated store showcased the modern self-service shopping concept, a snapshot of everyday life embracing convenience and change. People gather at the Gateways Club in Chelsea, London. Founded around 1931, it grew in prominence during the 1940s and 1950s. It was one of the few women-only clubs welcoming lesbians openly. Inside, people found freedom, friendship, and a safe community to belong. A landmark in UK LGBTQ+ history, its legacy still resonates today. In 1968, women protested the Miss America pageant in Atlantic City, New Jersey. Signs and chants filled the streets, challenging traditional beauty standards. A symbolic moment of the feminist movement gaining public attention, a snapshot of activism and the fight for equality. On March 5, 1953, Joseph Stalin, leader of the Soviet Union, passed away. A grand public funeral was held in Red Square. Thousands gathered, reflecting his central role in Soviet politics. A moment of national mourning and historical significance. In 1965, Pai stood alongside Soviet goalkeeper Lev Yashin, two soccer legends sharing a moment of mutual respect, a snapshot capturing admiration across teams and nations. In 1979, Michael Jackson posed in London as Charlie Chaplin. He wore a bowler hat, cane, dark suit, and the famous mustache. A playful tribute capturing Jackson's admiration for the legendary entertainer. It showed Jackson blending music fame with classic cinematic nostalgia, a rare glimpse of the pop star honoring timeless entertainment icons. Years after 1912, a Titanic survivor signs an autograph for a woman. The simple act carried the weight of loss and survival. It showed how the disaster remained alive in public memory. A quiet, symbolic exchange that bridged tragedy with human connection. History lived on, not only in books, but in lived stories. In 1971, on the U.S. set of The Godfather, Robert Duvall held lines for Marlon Brando. The candid moment revealed the trust between cast members during filming. Behind the legendary performance was teamwork and quiet collaboration. It showed how even small gestures shaped unforgettable cinematic history. A glimpse into the making of one of film's greatest masterpieces. In 1900, Canyon de Seli in northeastern Arizona was photographed. Towering rock formations rose dramatically above the desert landscape. The land reflected the long presence of the Navajo people. Every cliff and shadow carried stories of tradition and survival. A glimpse of nature and culture bound together for centuries. In 1898, Jerusalem is pictured with the German Palestine Bank sign in view. The scene captured a city balancing tradition and growing modern influence. Just years later, work began on the Berlin-Baghdad Railway project. The image linked commerce, infrastructure, and shifting powers in the region. A single snapshot tied local life to global history in motion. In 1977, Moscow's Keenan Avenue, now Novyrbat, bustled with urban energy. Modern residential blocks and Soviet-style commercial buildings filled the streets. Bright signs added color to the cityscape of the 1970s, a snapshot of life and architecture during that era. In 1971, Azusa, California, a young mother feeds her baby at school. The program supported teenage mothers balancing their education with childcare. It showed compassion and progress during a changing social climate. A quiet moment reflected resilience, responsibility, and community support. Education and motherhood found space together in one small classroom. In 1981, the Concorde landed on St. Martin, descending over Maho Beach. Beachgoers stood amazed, feeling the roar of engines overhead. The sleek, supersonic jet cut across the sky with unmatched speed. A dramatic moment captured engineering brilliance and human fascination together. The landing became a legendary sight, blending travel, power, and spectacle. In the 1950s, a family gathers in their living room around the TV. Every eye is fixed on a children's program, completely glued to the screen. The soft glow of the television fills the room with excitement. It captures the wonder and novelty television brought into everyday family life. A snapshot of changing times when screens began shaping culture and homes. In 1966, Bruce Lee teaches his son Brandon martial arts moves. It's a tender father-son moment where discipline meets affection. Bruce's precise technique blends with gentle guidance, while Brandon follows with curiosity. The photo captures both the legacy of skill and the warmth of family bonding in a single frame. In 1919, a Studebaker sits in a repair shop for inspection. Mechanics move carefully amid scattered tools, spare parts, and heavy equipment of the era. Studebaker stood proudly as one of America's leading automakers in the early 20th century. The image offers a fascinating glimpse into how cars were maintained and serviced a century ago. The facade of Sig Klein Fat Men's shop stands on 3rd Avenue, NYC. Large, bold painted signs advertise underwear, shirts, pajamas, socks, and everyday essentials. The shop promised quality clothing tailored perfectly to fit men of every size. This storefront captures a vivid glimpse of mid-century retail culture and advertising in New York City. In 1944, Ava Gardner posed with Alex Darcy at the Trocadero. Both wore elegant outfits, showcasing Hollywood's classic Golden Age style. Ava's glamour shone brightly, her attire perfectly suited for the occasion. Darcy matched her elegance, reflecting refined taste and sophisticated charm. The venue buzzed with stars, laughter, and the city's social energy. This photo captures off-screen life of movie legends in relaxed moments. In the 1940s, a woman paused during her gym workout. She sipped tea or coffee, taking a brief moment of rest. Leaning casually on a 125-pound bar, she caught her breath. The scene captures strength, dedication, and a rare, quiet gym moment, a glimpse of early female fitness culture and determination in action. In 1968, a young woman joined a Labor Day parade in Lviv. She marched among crowds celebrating May 1st across the Soviet Union. Flags waved, banners stretched, and city streets filled with energy. The scene shows public participation, tradition, and political culture of the era, a glimpse of everyday life and communal celebrations in Soviet cities.